Dear participants and my dear students, a very good afternoon, and I extend a warm welcome to all of you and wish you all for a good health and safety during this pandemic. Myself, Dr. Mallikarjun. So, warmly welcome again for the lecture series organized at IIMT Group of Colleges, Greater Noida. The purpose of this series is to help the students to understand the basic principles and their applications in our daily life. IIMT Group of Colleges, one of the top reputed institutions in the northern India, providing quality education and research. Our mission is to provide the students the ability to lead in the present dynamic world. In this series, we are regularly discussing the important topics where our students can learn the principles, and as well as we help them to apply the principles of these subjects and their applications. That is how these principles have been applied and various applications can be utilized for the benefit of the society as well as their professional growth. In continuing with my lecture series on oils and fats, I've been just recall the previous contents which I've discussed in the previous lectures. That is, what are oils and fats, how they are useful, what are their importance for us. I've been discussed in the lecture series 1. In the lecture 2, I have highlighted how these oils and fats can be exploited for further utilization in other sectors, including food, as well as soap and detergent, and as well as in varnishing and paint industries. So, in continuing with my lecture today, we have been interesting to know how these oils and fats have been used in the food industry, and I've been also given a brief idea about what oils to be used, what not to be used for our own safety and health concern. Continuing with this series, today I'm discussing about, that is, analysis of these oils and fats. That means to say, it is the determination of oils and fats. So why I've been discussing this analysis? What is the importance? What is the necessary? What is the objective of analyzing these oils and fats? As I said that oils and fats, it is one of the bigger contribution. We can say that we all consume to a larger extent in our daily life. And whether we are consuming the right or we are able to get the right one, it is the question. The purity and as well as the quality, what we are consuming, it matters a lot. So it is necessary for all of us, what we consume, what the oils and fats, what we are consuming in our daily needs as a food, as a constraint of a food, is the right one. If it is right one, how to find it's right? So for a common man, we all should know that the oils and fats what we are consuming is of highest quality, is of highest purity, and apart from that, the government regulatory agencies have been regularly watching, they're observing, they're regulating the purity and quality of these oils and fats, because we have been extensively using this in our normal life as well as in other purposes also. So the analysis of oils and fats is based again on the physical and chemical properties of again the oils and fats only. In the last lecture, that is in the previous lecture, I discussed what are the properties, how we can modify these fats and oils and how it can be utilized commercially. I've discussed in the last lecture. And utilizing the same properties, we can again determine their quality and their purity. So I've been discussing some of the interesting points here today. That is the purpose. What is the purpose? I again redefine once again. That is, what is the self-life study? To study the self-life of any oil and fat. So to understand how much longer duration we can store these oils and fats. For example, if any oil and fat, whatever we purchased from the market, so there is a specific date by which it can be expired. We can call it as it is unfit for consumption. So it is necessary during the analysis to find out how long these fats and oils can be stored. And that is the objective. During the analysis, we are able to understand it is how many days, how many long duration these oils and fats can be stored. Next one is the functional quality. So the function quality, it is nothing but how far these oils and fats have functional importance. Mean to say they are suitable for maybe confectionery, bakery, or maybe for another hydrogenation. And that is what we should know about. That is functionality. To understand or to determine the functionality, we have to carry out this analysis of this oils and fats. The next one is nutritional quality. Of course, it's very important. Nutritional, as oils and fats are very nutrient foods. We have to consume it, and definitely whether they have this nutritious defined quantity, what with the claim, again to understand that one. Because in the whatever the commercial foods are which are available, it is have the nutritional, they have to define, they have to mention what are the nutritional contents of this food packets are available. So to determine again the nutritional quantity or quality, again we have to analyze this oils and fats. The next one is about the sensory quality. The sensory means whether it is the volatile or sensible to our sense organs, because each oils and fats, they have again the physical this property. So whether somewhere the sense, based on the sense, we can able to understand whether the oils and fat is pure or impure. For example, if it is rancid, to check the rancid is obnoxious odor, is unpleasant odor due to oxidation of any oils and fats. If you find this in obnoxious odor, so that indicates the sensory, that means to know that if the oils and fat becomes rancid, it is undergone oxidation. So next one is about the production controlling. So raw material and production controlling or operation. Oils and fats have been processed by the industries for the commercial purpose as well as refining, because actually naturally what we are getting, it is unfit to consume. Usually the oils and fats what we get naturally is directly the raw, which is unfit to consume. It has to be processed. So while processing these oils and fats, a lot of contaminants usually takes place. And that is what actually in the recent studies I could find the observations that recently, that is 2 monochlorophenols and 3 monochlorophenols. So these are the new toxic substances which have been, and they are the derivatives of glycerol, glycerol derivatives which have been found, and they are highly toxic. And definitely, like one such example, recent examples are finding out the research are these two things, and many more such you can say that toxic substances or impurities which have been takes place during the process of this oils and fats. That's why we should be, and sometimes even while processing these oils and fats can be also be oxidized and with high temperatures, because they're subjected to high temperature, sometimes they are being degrading, and to know that also. So we have to analyze these fats and oils to check the operational quality or the production operation quality, and thereby whether it is pure or impure. I could quote one more example, that because of the high temperature, high steam we are using, maybe the water is containing the chlorine or the chloride, and this chloride reacts with the unsaturated double bonds of these fatty acids, and it's going to become, that's what's monochloro or dichloropropane or diene derivatives, which are highly toxic in nature. That's what an example, recent findings I could share with all of you. The next one is, of course, the regulatory standards. So in India, we have the regulatory standard, that is pharmacopoeia. So every country, they have their own pharmacopoeias, like we do have the Indian pharmacopoeia. Indian pharmacopoeia is a standards. They fix the standards value for each and every oil and fat what we are using or what we are consuming in our daily life. So they have been fixed standards by the authorities or regulatory agencies, and all the oils and fats which are available today, they have to comply. They have to comply with all these values available. If there is a deviation, if there is a variations in the compliance, that indicates that it is unfit for human consumption. So that's another objective where we have to analyze this oils and fat. Then, of course, determination of adulterants is very, very interesting. That is what my topic today. I was highlighting more importance to adulteration of fats and oils. That is measurement of spoilage of fats and oils. That is a very interesting. My concern of today's discussion on this platform is to make my audience and the viewers to know that how this adulteration takes place in fats and oils, and how we have been suffering because of this adulteration. And every household, every family, I think everyone to understand how importance, that is whatever we are consuming, the oils and fat in our house, definitely it is of pure or impure, that should be known. By this discussion in the series, I could definitely highlight these points more rather than other individual or specific analytical points. So my concern is about adulteration in fats and oils, and how can we find out what is the ways and means by which we can find this adulteration in oils and fats. So the detection of adulterants on basis of development, color, turbidity, precipitate is of course possible. And adulteration, why? The question is why adulteration takes place. The problem is, as we all know that the entire world, the consumption of oils and fats, especially in food, as a purpose of food, is to a larger extent. And in this food, definitely the oil contains oil, and the vegetable oils and fat contains definitely matters to a lot. Why? In the first lecture, I've highlighted that some are essential, some are non-essential, and those essential oils and fats, of course, have the higher price, the cost, because of their safety and health point of, they are highly priced. For example, I could give example of olive oil, which of course it is costing more. So one cannot easily, a common man cannot be affordable. Why it is the cost of this oil is more? The reason is it is containing highly unsaturated fatty acids in these components, and it is good for the health. And I've already told you that is LDL and HDL cholesterol. The presence of LDL cholesterol, it is affecting and it is not good for health and is causing cardiovascular diseases, whereas HDL, it is a good cholesterol which is present, and these olive oils and good oils and fats, they are the contents of unsaturated fatty acids, and definitely their price because of their source, and as well the price, the cost of this olive oil is much more, and it is not affordable. If it is not affordable, and it cannot be consumable by each and every household. To make it affordable, unfortunately, it is this industry, the food industry, they have been coming out, maybe they have been coming out with adulteration or modifications, and that is the major concern for all of us. So The olive oil has been mixed with the other edible oil, and thereby causing, it is that is the mixing of these two, it is the health concern for all of us, and it is causing serious health issues which we are not aware in the longer durations. So my question is that, so then how to find these adulterants? So I've been discussing the same topic, that means to say that simple way, that is by qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. So qualitative analysis, it can be done by anyone. Even in our laboratories, we ask all our students to get their own samples, what they've been using. I usually instruct the students, please get your samples from your own house, what you've been using daily, and to test whether it is of pure or impure. And based on this analytical, because analytical, or you can say that qualitative analysis, they are just, we are checking out their solubility, their melting point, their specific gravity, refractive index, and viscosity, and simple test, maybe translucent spots test, acrylamide test, Ardent test, Abel's test. So thereby we could able to find out whether this is of pure or impure. So apart from this qualitative test, there have been quantitative test as per the regulatory authorities, as per the standards. So before discussing about the standards or regulatory concerns, let me discuss, because my concern again, I said that I have to make everyone, the viewers, to understand how can we check this oils and fats what we are using in our households. So for example, as I said that olive oil, it is of course the cost of olive oil is much more. So usually what this adulterate, because the deep products, they have the scope to mix with the low price oils. Maybe they are also an edible oil, but maybe they are not consumable, they are not fit for consumption. For example, olive oil is maybe Spanish olive syndrome, usually that takes place, and this syndrome has huge health concern. So what they're doing here, they are mixing with rapeseed oils. It is non-edible rapeseed oil they're mixing, which is available at very cheaper prices, and this oil, rapeseed oil, has been mixed with olive oil, and they're selling as an olive oil. The rapeseed has been selling as a olive oil, and that is causing the huge problems in the metabolic process in the body. So this is one. Then I can give a lot of other examples. Like in Indian households, we commonly use this mustard oil, and the mustard oil usually it contains that arginine oil. They usually mix the mustard oil, it's been mixed with arginine oil, which is available at lesser cost. And how to find this? How to find out this? So I've been just discuss about the simple test, how we can carry out this to find out various contents. So for example, sesame oil. Sesame oil is again present in the various other mixtures. You can say as an adulterant, usually sesame oil present in the ghee, desi ghee, and as well as vegetable ghee, we are using it. In desi ghee, of course, sometimes they mix this vegetable ghees also, and vegetable ghee, they contain this sesame oil. So in place of desi ghee, they may be giving out, which we are not able to find, and it is mixture of this is vegetable ghee, which contains sesame oil. So how to find out? To find out sesame oil, so we have to use it, just take the few ml of oil, add hydrochloric acid containing sucrose or perfurol, and keep it aside for 5 minutes, and the presence of rose red color appears in the acid layer. So the presence of rose red color indicates that the sesame oil is present in the oil and fat. So that indicates that if sesame oil present in the ghee, or what we say desi ghee, we call it as, that is an adulterant. So it's a very simple test all can do in our house, and of course in our laboratories, in colleges also we can do this. So presence of, or to find whether the ghee desi ghee is pure or impure, just you can find out on yourself, or maybe you can send your samples to our maybe colleges. We can able to find those sesame oil and to find out whether it's desi ghee or pure or of impure in nature. So next one is cottonseed oil. How to find cottonseed oil as an adulterant, as an adult in oils and fats. So it is done by Alfven's test. It is nothing but we are taking the oil and add the sulfur in carbon disulfide. The few alcoholic solution of this oils and fats, we can just add sulfur and carbon disulfide, and the formation of pink to red color indicates the presence of cotton seed oil. So wherever the cottonseed oil, because cottonseed oil much less expensive, and it can be mixed with other oils, and to find that we can use this test and we can able to find out the consumption of maybe sunflower oil, or maybe they will mix these oils, the less expensive oils, and we can usually, this is the normal adulterant, we can able to maybe sesame oil, maybe cottonseed oils, we can able to test in the laboratories or maybe to some extent in our own households. Next one is orange oil, maybe arginine oils, maybe they are phenolic oil, phenolic contents of these oils and fats, because that is also less expensive. And these oils, again, they mixed usually in the mustard oil. So that's very, very, very interesting. That is, we are all consuming the mustard oil, and this mustard oil, they've been mixed with either arginine oils or it is karanja oil, which is an adulterant again. So how to find out this again? We just take few ml of this oils and fats, then add few drops of ferric chloride solution, and maybe in ethanol or it may be in acid. So it can be shaked vigorously for few minutes, and the development of light blue or dark color indicates that is the presence of this phenolic oils and fats in that particular oil and fat. So that indicates again this impurity is present in the given oil and fat. So these are the ways by which we can able to find the adulterants in the oils and fats what we are consuming in our daily life. And of course the castor oil also, now we can find out castor oil also. Castor oil is also again it is one of the less expensive oil, and it can be used again, you can add this oils whatever it can be with petroleum ether and shake it thoroughly, and you can add a drop of ammonium molybdate solution. The development white turbidity indicates the presence of castor oil as an adulterant. If any high expensive oil, if they mixed with castor oil, we can able to find out by this test. So these are the qualitative tests. I'm not discussing about the quantitative, how much exactly, what are the quantitatively, how much it has been available as an adulterant, as a toxic or an impurity. But this is all just a qualitative test by which we are able to find out, just simply you can able to find whether of what the oil and fat or the butter, ghee, sunflower, whatever, what other oils what we are consuming in our house, it can be simply tested and to find whether it is of pure or impure. So that is the concern, because it is the free defrauders, or they have the very huge scope to mix and to make this adulterants for to make big profits. So we should be aware, and definitely we look upon this, because oils and fats, as I told you, it's going to be one of the, again, the next pandemic is going to happen because of this oils and fats has been adversely affecting the health concerns. Maybe it's leading to diabetes, as well as it can be cardiovascular diseases also. And that is a major concern. I told you, I reminded again earlier, and I again inform you again that these are the major health concerns which want to look. So to further discussion on this oils and fat, these are the qualitative tests by which we can able to find out. More simple test, you can say that you can say translucent spot test also. You can able to find the spots on the filter papers. We can able to say that whether the oils and fat is of fit or unfit. Maybe whatever the desi ghee, vegetable ghee, you can just test it. Maybe sometimes they mix with even the powders, maybe the starch, and that also usually can be identified by this translucent simple test as spot test. Alkaline test, of course, to find out an impurity of glycerol. Glycerol, maybe it is oxidized and forming this acrolein. So you are adding with the furfural solution, and if any pungent odor, that indicates that this oil is decomposed and hydrolyzed. So this is simple test. And of course, I told you the subtle test and Badman test already. I told you the same thing with sesame oils, the desi ghee, and this one, the vegetable ghee, the same thing with other name, which we call it as the Badman test and Abel's test. So next is analytical, the parameters, how this can be identified. Next, I discussed about only about the physical constants, that is the qualitative, based on that qualitative analysis. These are the ways, these are the qualitative tests which we can able to identify, we can able to know whether the impurity present in these oils and fats. So I again request all the households, all the viewers, please look into this, and whatever you're consuming as a food on daily life, because we have been extensively consuming this oils and fats, because especially the hydrogenated fats. Again, I said that as in the last class, I said trans fat free India. This is the message I told you. Again, it's going to, we should not, it's a devil, it's going to become the next pandemic we should all avoid, and definitely avoid from morning to evening. Every house we are consuming biscuits, definitely again contains this same fats. Any, maybe the food, other maybe fried food packets, whatever, maybe namkins, maybe the biscuits, or anything, any confectionaries are the food which always you just check the outer, maybe the what is clearly mentioned, the nutritional contents and the presence of trans fatty acids. And the question is the trans fatty acids within the limits, if should be within 5. It should be, actually the world WHO recommends it should be below 3, but unfortunately in India it is more than 10-50%. You could check whatever, maybe checking Alderams, the so many namkins we are consuming it, you check it, what the contents of trans fatty acids. We don't know. We are usually consuming the palm oil, very good example. Every street foods you can go for there, you can check that palm oil. Palm oil, it's highly saturated fatty acids, which is again not ideal to consume on our life. But unfortunately, we love, accept all this delicient, maybe we think that, but the samosas, jalebis, again, I mean to say that we are consuming all they are prepared from these palm oils. So, my dear students, think twice, and my audience or viewers also think twice that how, what we consume daily is the right food what we're consuming or not. So, otherwise, we may be, even after this, all these preventive cares, definitely we can avoid such pandemics in the future also. So, in continuing with further, and I said that all, you can say that anyone can go for this simple test or qualitative test by which we can able to find and able to analyze of its purity and impurity. The next one is quantitative test. Again, the quantitative test are nothing but how to find out the exact impurity in specified quantity, how much quantity that impurity present in an oil and fat. To start begin with that, the first one is acid value. Acid value is nothing but it is the free fatty acid. How free fatty acid obtained? It's obtained mainly from the hydrolysis of oils and fats. That you can define, it is very thing, it is the standard books in IP, it is defined that number of milligrams of potassium hydroxide required to neutralize the free fatty acid present in 1 gram of oil or fat. So the free fatty acid should not be there, it is in the limitations, and the standard limits for this acid value for any oil is been fixed and defined, it is available, the data is available, and it should not be more than, not more than 0.5. But most of the palm oil, you can check all the oils, adulterant oils, you can check that, or sometimes maybe the oil, whatever the company is claiming, anyone could check it, and based on this free fatty acid, if you can able to find whether it is unfit, whether it is consumable, or it is not consumable, one can decide. So significance that higher the acid means it is the stored for longer duration. So it is longer duration, and of course, it has been hydrolyzed and converted into free fatty acids. So generally, and rancidity, that is rancid means I say that unpleasant odor that indicate that oil has been decomposed, and hence it liberates these free fatty acids, and the free fatty acids definitely more in this oils and fats. So this is a very simple and very useful test. One can do that. The next one is saponification value, and I said that it's one of the important parameter again in the mentioned in the standard books, official books like pharmacopoeia, again defined as number of milligrams of potassium hydroxide required to neutralize the free fatty acid resulting from the complete hydrolysis of 1 gram of oil or fat present in the oil. So it directly, the value normally applied to buffer fat, coconut oil, in which they have lower longer fatty acids change. That means the longer branch fatty acid change, they have definitely the lower saponification value, and the high branched, they have the high molecule. It indicates the molecular weight. Mainly the saponification value indicates about the molecular weight present in the oil and fat. So its inversely proportion, the average molecular weight of acid glycerides occur in the high content. So the significance, it measures the average molecular size, the molecular weight of the constant fatty acids in the given oil and fat. Higher the saponification for the fats containing short chain fatty acid, lower saponification value for the longer chain fatty acids. So by which we can able to find which one is right, and based on the saponification value, we can able to find this one. So next one is the important about Richard Missed value. That is very important. Richard Missed value, which is I'm going to discuss. That's very interesting because these two are very, very interesting and very useful. That is Richard Missed value for the dairy ghee, because cow ghee or the dairy ghee, maybe desi ghee, what we are been using, it is of pure or impure. That is the question, because the ghee, of course, the cost of this ghee is a little higher, and the question there is adulteration takes place to a major extent. And this ghee, or you can smell it. It is, if it's a pure, you can get the smell, its aroma. And this aroma have been tested. Based on that, you can say that this value, RM values, we can usually measure the volatile water soluble contents in the present in the fat. It defined as number of milligrams of potassium hydroxide required to neutralize the volatile water soluble fatty acid present in 5 grams of oils and fat. Higher the content of volatile fatty acids of a butter responsible for highest RM missile number. So it is useful in testing the purity and adulteration of butter. The butter, what everyone likes, definitely, so matters a lot. Please, all of you check that the butter has been mixed with a lot of adulterants. As I said, that with sesame oil, vegetable ghees, and other commercial ghees available vanaspatis. So please, all of you do take care and check all these oils and fats in the laboratories frequently, maybe whenever you feel doubt. So I ask all the viewers and the audience once again. So all these oils and fats what we consume is of most importance for the nutritional point of view, but is a good one or the right one. Maybe it is mixed with something else for by this fraudulents or defrauders for to make the big profits exploiting us. So my concern is all of you that this lecture, I hope that it's been useful to all of you. And my question is, adulterated fat and oil is not fit for human consumption. So again, thank you for all of you for attending these sessions, and please do support. And my teachers, definitely they're coming out with new topics, and they've been just discussing their contents very, very in detail, and that's going to help you, all of you. Please do support and encourage my teachers and my team and all the members. And once again, I thank the management of IIMT group of colleges, but for taking such an initiative to organize lectures, and that for the benefit of the society. And thank you one and all again. Thank you.